Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. My name is Jack Fritz. I'm a principal in Deloitte's telecommunications practice, and I'm joined by Scott Lawrence from Verizon. Scott, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to join the Deloitte stage today. It's great to be back. I had the opportunity last year to join you as well, so thank you. My name is Scott Lawrence. I have the privilege of leading our product organization for Verizon Business. Verizon Business supports global enterprise customers, public sector, and our small and medium business customers, as well as wholesale.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about, no surprise, AI. Really kind of take it from a couple angles. One is really looking at how AI is transforming the way Verizon Business operates itself. And then also, as we think about kind of the opportunity ahead of Verizon in the marketplace around AI. But maybe just to get started, how do you define AI's role in the future of Verizon Business today in terms of kind of your internal operations and how it's driving some transformation there?
Yeah. So I think it's important to first share with you a little perspective on how we view AI within Verizon. And we really view it in three lenses. So the first one is applied AI. What are we doing to enhance and elevate the customer experience, the employee experience, and drive operational efficiency? So it's really applying AI into internal Verizon workflows, systems, and tools. The second lens is what are we doing to embed AI into products and services that we take to market? And there's two sides of that coin, right? There's the element of AI, whether it's AI ops as an example, self-healing networks that drive more value into the services that we deliver within our managed service portfolio. Or there's other monetization opportunities for products that we're delivering, where we delivered Verizon Business Assistant, which is an AI agent attendant aimed at small and medium businesses. So that's a monetization opportunity. The third lens is how do we enable AI in the broader AI ecosystem? And that is where we've launched our AI Connect solution. And it's really about elevating the role that the network plays in the distribution of AI workloads at scale. Because if you think about all of the conversations that all of us have had about AI over the last several years, it's all been centered on data centers, chipsets, large-scale compute, and power. But the role that the network plays in enabling and distributing those AI workloads at scale has been absent from the conversation, but it's an absolute critical element to make it all work and to unlock the true value of AI. So again, applied, embedded, and enabled is how we view it.
Very cool. And as you think about kind of the AI that you've applied and embedded in the organization itself, where have you seen some kind of meaningful change in terms of your operations, whether it's some network operations or sales and service, any of those areas?
Yeah, and I would go into kind of how we apply it to our business. Yeah. And one is how are we delivering more customer value, a better customer experience, at the same time delivering a better employee experience. So when we look at, customer service, for example, and embedding AI tools to help take a lot of the cognitive load off of our service agents so they can have more of a personal interaction with our customers and really solve their problems on the first attempt. So that's one area. Second is how we're driving more value to the business to drive retention in our base and making it more personalized experience and interaction between us. Things like next best action for our sales teams. So when our sellers are engaged with an enterprise customer, they understand not only the services that we've delivered, but what are some of the things that the customer is doing to create a competitive advantage in the marketplace, and how can we unlock that advantage for them, and what would be a solution or service that would make sense for us to have a conversation. That's another example of how we're delivering value for our customers. And then transforming, our marketing experience.
Yep.
If you think about just the time to market, to create content, to deliver offers and promos, traditionally that could take weeks or months before you could get it to market. Now we have the tools to do it in minutes and get it out to market same day, because the market's moving and it's not going to wait for us. And so we have to figure out collectively, how do we leverage these tools to create a strategic differentiator while unlocking real value and outcomes for employees and customers alike?
Yeah. No, and I mean, one of the things we've been hearing about is kind of finding the people to do the work, right? So a lot of the skills and capabilities that organizations are trying to deploy today, we didn't have a lot of those people over the last couple of years. How have you approached kind of building those capabilities internally at Verizon and scaling them to meet the needs of your customers?
So I think it's important to know, like AI is not new. Like I know over the last 3 years with ChatGPT coming out a couple of years ago, that's been the big focus. But we've been using AI in some form or flavor at Verizon for well over a decade to manage our global networks. And key to that is really understanding your underlying data and how you're capturing and cleaning that data and making it available for these models to leverage to deliver you actionable outcomes. And so we have been working on that for quite some time in a very distributed, diverse environment where we've grown through acquisitions over the years, a lot of legacy tech. So really being thoughtful about our data strategy and structure is kind of the building blocks. The second then, to your point, is making sure that we have the right people that are thinking, in a different framework to how to put this technology to play. And applying AI isn't the fix-all. Like if you apply AI to a broken process or workflow, you're not going to get a better result, right? So first you have to focus on how to fix that underlying process or workflow. Then you apply AI to really accelerate and enhance it. Yeah. And I think that combination of that approach has been key. And then the final point is how to do it with a clear and unified governance model around it. So we've had an AI governance committee, over the last, several years that has representatives from each of the key business units to really ensure that we're responsibly deploying AI, both internally and externally on behalf of our customers and employees.
Okay. Awesome. Now, maybe just pivoting a little bit to talk about, your customers and go to market. You mentioned AI over the last couple of years. Obviously, that's been on the uptake, but so is private 5G as well. As you look at kind of the increasing availability of private 5G, increasing prevalence of AI and so many of the solutions, how do you think customer buying patterns and kind of what they're looking for from Verizon Business, how has that started to evolve over that time?
Yeah, so, one, customers are looking for outcomes in how we deliver our services, and they're looking beyond traditional connectivity. They want to deploy secure, scalable, flexible infrastructure that's going to meet the needs that they have today, but future-proof them for what's coming tomorrow. And as we look at, what's about to hit, you're going to see a tidal wave of data utilization driven by distributed inferencing, agentic agent transactions, token transactions across the network. And if you're a business customer, small, medium, or large, you need to look at, do you have that flexible infrastructure, that multi-cloud environment to not only meet the needs that you have today, but become a competitive differentiator in the future. And those that are, still dealing with static network environments are really a step behind. And so you have to be, think forward. And for us at Verizon, when we look at the assets that we can bring into the mix, everything from, neutral host to private 5G to an IoT environment to the macro 5G network to a network as a service, wide area network environment, all in a converged manner, we have the assets to provide that secure, flexible infrastructure.
And you mentioned, a lot of the insights that can be gathered from data. As you look at kind of the data, generative AI getting insights from the data and the usage that your customers have in the network, how's that driving both, the care aspect, but also kind of the future of your product development, and the roadmap there?
Yeah. So the other piece is how do you leverage that technology to create more predictive network infrastructure? Yeah. Right. That anticipates the need of the network, the need of the application, that can scale up and scale down after it. And so as we look at creating our adaptive network fabric that we've been focused on, which is effectively a programmable cloudified network experience, it's really about putting control back in the hands of our customers, right? How to extend that so that you can truly spin up resources when you need it, spin down network resources when you don't need it. And you need insights to do that. You need the right API strategy to enable it. And it's really about enabling a broader partner ecosystem, right? Because we sit at the intersection of a rapidly evolving device ecosystem, right? If we believe the smartphones that we all have in our pocket is going to be the devices we use 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, I think we'd be fooling ourselves. Like we're already seeing, smart glasses come out, humanoid robotics, drones, et cetera. There's going to be a whole new device ecosystem that's going to emerge. And so how you integrate that into the network, and then understanding the role that distributed inferencing environment's going to make and where the edge is. There's been a lot of conversation about AI edge. And when I look at the edge, it can be device, it can be customer prem, it can be service provider edge, or it can be cloud. And so that whole edge to cloud continuum is where the service providers like a Verizon can really shine.
Yeah. And you mentioned, partners and the ecosystem. How have you seen kind of the partnership ecosystem in your relationships and where you're looking to go next? How has that evolved in kind of the era of AI and everything else with hyperscalers, chip makers, et cetera?
I think it's made it more important than ever. I think the days of like a single vendor stack or a single cloud provider is just not, feasible. You're going to see customers that are going to be working across multiple different models, developing their own small language models, distributed inferencing that needs to work across multiple different stacks. And so you need to be able to connect that partner ecosystem in a way that doesn't, strand your data and the models that you want to use,
right,
and put them in the hands of your customers or your employees to then deliver value to their customers. So, enabling that ecosystem is really important. We work across, a broad span of not only hyperscalers, but a whole new class of the neoclouds that have come online, the device manufacturers.
Yeah.
And we just talked a little bit about all the different form factors that'll come to bear, but they're going to require new network currency.
Yeah.
Things like network slicing on the macro 5G network, things like uplink, a higher uplink speed to support the glasses and, all of these other devices that are coming. And it's an opportunity for service providers to really reset not only the service and the outcomes they deliver,
yep,
but think about how to extract more compounding value as network utilization continues to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about resetting the commercial model for the service providers as well.
Makes sense. Now, earlier in our conversation, you talked a little bit about AI Connect, launched, I think early last year. So over the last year plus, how have you kind of seen AI Connect get some traction in the market, and any lessons learned to share along that trend?
No, so when we look at AI Connect, there's really kind of three components of it, but underpinning it, it's how are we reimagining the assets that we have, and how do we put it to work to really enable the new AI ecosystem? So first is our data center and colocation assets. We have space and power available to unlock inferencing at the edge. We already were early into the edge compute game with our partnership with AWS 5 years ago. A lot of lessons learned on that experience that we can apply into edge AI. Second is looking at our fiber assets and our macro wireless network. So our metro fiber, our long-haul network fiber, opening our dark fiber,
yep,
as well as wave services to meet the demand of hyperscalers, neoclouds, enterprise customers, and we're in the early innings. But what's going to be really fascinating is once you really move from these large language models to inferencing, and you see enterprise customers needing to consume this on their network, and that's where the third pillar of AI Connect comes in, and that's that adaptive network fabric, that programmability that's going to be so important to put the control back in the hands of our customers. So since launch, we've seen a tremendous amount of demand in the market and opportunities and partnerships that we've announced with the likes of AWS recently, Meta earlier, and some of the service providers at the edge. But I think we're only in the very early innings because it's really about how do you meet the market where it is today, but how do you build for where it's going in the future? And one thing is true is the market's moving and it's not going to wait for any of us. So we need to take advantage of it.
Right. So maybe just a quick question in closing here. Fast forward a little bit, we're in 2030 of MWC. What would you say kind of in 2030, at that time, the Verizon is really fully capitalized on the AI opportunity in front of you today?
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be invited back.
Yeah, of course. If I'm still consider this a preloaded invite.
Yeah, that's definitely worked well. But no, in all seriousness, I think the baseline is providing high bandwidth, low latency, secure connectivity. That is table stakes, so that should be expected. But then it's really how do you deliver that network programmability and unlock new insights into how your data is flowing across your network so you can make actionable decisions that will help put your business in a competitive advantage against your competition.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.